let's get into the top 10 here a little bit. I put them in order from 10 to 1, with 1 being what I consider to be the most important. There's always room for discussion on the sequence, and I'm sure in some cases there's a few things I could probably put together a top 50 list, but we got to start somewhere. So we'll start with the top 10. Okay, number 6. We're getting there. I'm going to probably pick up the pace a little bit to stay on time, but one of the things we talk about is utilizing what we call spiral learning. Because CMMS is a complex integrated system, and again, not only is it the software piece, it's really tied to business processes, etc. We really have to take a mindset of a continuous improvement process here. There's terms like high-performing organization. These are key types of things that are out there for a lot of complex type of things. So if we sort of follow the spirals here, at some point there's an original concept, and that's kind of what you have when you do your first implementation rollout. Here's what we're doing. Here's how we want to use it. Here's the basics. Let's start using it. Then there's some sort of a planning phase that probably accompanied that implementation. So here's how we're gonna roll this out. We've executed that initial implementation. Step number 3, and then what doesn't happen quite often is anything past that. So once we get that initial implementation done, we want a little bit of time for things to set in, people to get comfortable, a little bit more comfortable with using the system. But then we need to come back and review and redefine what our concept is. What did we miss? What do we think would go well or work well that isn't working well? What do we have to change, either in our processes, or maybe we even have to change how we've set the tool up to use it? Think of this as a continuous loop, and if you really take that into play with every time I do this and review and redefine, I also revise my concept or tighten up my go-forward plan and improvement efforts associated with this. You've got to get that type of process in place, and it needs to be formal. Don't leave that to, yeah, we sort of do that and it happens naturally. I'm not talking about just kind of natural progression here. You've got to manage this and do this intentionally to really be effective. So if you're not utilizing this type of thing, that on a regular basis you come back and say, what's working, what's not working, what do we need to reinforce, what worked well, you're missing an opportunity. So that's the concept behind number 6. Hopefully you found this interesting, some helpful points and comments, and if anybody's got any questions, I'd be happy to answer them.